about Black Panther 2? Anything?
I'm dead.
No, we're not ready for you to be dead, Chadwick.
But I am. I'm dead.
In my culture, death is not the end. They are still with us. As long as we do not forget them.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever disappointed me. Now I know how much praise this movie has been getting, and if you disagree with my points, I'm delighted for you. Because subjectivity is essential, so I actually implore you to disagree with me. And also during the video there might be a spoiler from time to time, so if you haven't seen the film yet, I wholeheartedly recommend you to watch the film first so you can form your own opinions. But anyway, this film enraged me. I have never seen a movie with such potential giving us a mediocre farewell to one of the greatest actors of this generation. Now before I continue on with this rant, I have to point out that there are some good things in this film. Some of the action is quite riveting, the score is well done, the performances are fantastic, and Coogler's direction, especially as MCU movies go, is a step up. And the film starts off perfectly by showing us the grief, loss, and turmoil of dealing with a situation so massive as the death of King T'Challa. And though his death was effective, it goes back and forth between a celebration and mourning. Now on paper, that sounds good because variety is always crucial, but it kind of flip-flops back and forth, playing with your emotions so quickly that you can't let them always sit. And sure, I'll give them credit for laying off the Marvel humor, and when they did have some jokes, it felt way more organic, but that was kind of warranted. And yes, the respect for Chadwick Boseman is there, most notably with the performances and the direction, but the regard for T'Challa is obsolete. And after giving us these very emotional 10 minutes, we immediately cut to a year later. And that was the biggest mistake of the film. There seems to be a lot of care for this monumental change, but it also seems to care just as much in pushing the agenda of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was almost as if T'Challa's death was a benchmark they had to cross, and as soon as they did, now it's a Namor origin story, but unfortunately, oh no, we do not have time for that because Ironheart needs some development. Oh wait, come again? We also happen to have the Wakandans and the government grasping the idea of the vibranium being stolen. I can't believe how much they shoehorned into this film. Now, as I said before, the fact that this movie skips a year conveys the major detriment of the film. It's as if the MCU didn't have the courtesy to linger with the idea that the death of the king and protector of Wakanda didn't give this country significant repercussions. Imagine the world in shambles. The king of Wakanda is gone. Every loved one is emotionally and physically distraught, their land is not protected, and the mantle is still being decided. And if you just kept that government storyline and nothing else, you would have had a much more grounded, personal story. The stakes would have been much higher, adding more global conflict, and it would have been the epic that thrived upon grieving and a pulchritude of reminiscence for his death. But no. During the course of the film, we should kill off the Queen because we can lose all the emotional investment we had of T'Challa in a matter of minutes. And then, we can even write ourselves into a corner with those blue avatar people having the same abilities as the Black Panther. And though I kind of get what they were trying to go for with the same perception Stan Lee had about Spider-Man where everybody can wear the mask, but Black Panther is a mantle. It's not supposed to be a norm that's undermined and that presumably anybody has. And then you give Shuri the mantle of the Black Panther, and don't get me wrong, I love the idea. Not only was that an occurrence in the comics, but it felt like a natural progression to the story, but it just felt so unearned. You barely give her an origin story, and then you supposedly make us feel like she's now the rightful heir to the throne. And now because she's the Black Panther for some reason, they even forget about what T'Challa stood for. Remember how he wanted to help the rest of the world instead of corrupting it even more? Well, I guess we have a huge climax battle scene with wonky CG to learn that lesson all over again. The problem is that Marvel writers and their corporate conglomerate overlords are inept and below mediocre. They are activists rather than creators and don't even attempt to learn. I'm still of the opinion that the MCU truly ended after Endgame, and I honestly feel like the praise that's coming out of most of these films is all the hype surrounding them. And as soon as they lose interest in storytelling, it gradually dwindles in amateurism. Because at this point, mediocrity inspires praise. Any video that I've made about the MCU prior has more often than not been made with positive affirmation. But every time the thought of a film or show occurs, deep-seated resentment lingers. The MCU, even with its flaws, was always an otherworldly experience. And now since that magic has faded, it always feels like that mouse needs to be fed until the box office results speak for themselves. I'll keep tuning in because I'm a Marvel show that way, but now that Phase 4 is done and gone, it was not very good. Sure, we had our No Way Homes and our Lokis and Moon Knights, but those are few and far between. And now rest assured, I can wholeheartedly say that the MCU is dead.